You can get to extremely low calories and still not be losing weight and wondering why, right? You need to prioritize it and act like training is priority number one. Okay, what time of the day can I be actually training? What is the best time? As long as most of the time you are consistent and you're doing the workouts. And this is going to make a massive difference to the way you work out, to your relationship with training. And it's gonna make you a different person. Welcome to the next episode of the Limitless Body and Mind podcast. Today's episode will discuss what is the best time to work out for weight loss. And yes, working out for weight loss might be a little bit different than working out for muscle building or strength building or any type of skill training. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to this podcast. I'm releasing episodes every week, coaching you how to lose weight, perfectly fitting entrepreneur's lifestyle or executive's lifestyle where you're extremely busy, having a lot of responsibilities, and you need the most efficient regimen, the most efficient approach that will ensure you not just lose weight, but also create a sustainable change and a new lifestyle, and you become a new version of yourself. My name is Peter Krstev. I'm a coach. I've been doing this for 6 years, have multiple awards, and I'm very confident that this podcast is one of the best contents that you will get out there in the realm of coaching, because it's not just some science-based facts, it's not just information that's dumped to you. I'm going to be giving you practical and tactical advice every single episode with a lot of helpful other materials that you will see I continuously share. So make sure to subscribe. This is available on every major platform, including YouTube, where, as you can see, I'm on video. If you want to watch the video, it's on YouTube and on Spotify. So when trying to lose weight, what really matters in the workout? Is it really the efficiency of the workout? Is it the length of the workout? What really matters the most? Is it the time? Well, in my opinion, in my experience, and not just my one, but also of other hundreds of experts which I've discussed this with, what really matters is the consistency the most. And with that goes also the enjoyment of the training, the accessibility of the workout environment, and how easy it is to get to the gym or how easy it is to start your training. What really matters is that you have an environment that promotes consistency and enjoyable experience. And why enjoyable? Well, because you simply want to develop a very positive relationship with training. And it's a huge mistake to start doing a schedule or following gurus which promotes the 5 a.m. club or training at midnight, if that's not for you. So for some people, yes, that might be a great fit. They might want to build up their discipline. But if you're an entrepreneur, for example, who is running a couple of businesses and you're having a family, you can't afford to be training in the middle of the night. That will definitely destroy your schedule, your productivity, and you'll probably burn out in many, many levels. At the same time, you might not be able to wake up at 5:30 in the morning if you have late meetings and you just have a creative hour in 11 o'clock in the night. There is a lot of factors that can play factor in when you should be training and when is the best time for you to be training. So when creating the training schedule, we need to start with that end goal in mind. Creating that environment, that schedule that promotes enjoyment and consistency. What gives us the highest chances of success? And to do that, you first have to answer a few questions about the type of training that you can afford to do and how long time do you have for training. So I have created a very detailed video episode of the podcast. It's episode 4. It's about the lowest hanging fruit. If you're watching on YouTube, the link will pop up here. You can watch it. Very powerful. If you haven't watched it, so it's absolutely a must before you start. It's going to explain a lot of the details. But in short, I will also give you some of them here, which is like, we start by identifying how many days of the week, first of all, you can be training, and how many minutes per day you can afford to spend for training. And once you have all that decided, then you're going to pick the workout and really see if that workout fits. So by workout, I mean you need to have a schedule of exactly what training split are you going to be doing, when you're going to be doing a circuit training or hypertrophy training or whatever training, strength training you have, and also are you going to do any cardio and how many times will that be. You need to answer these questions before you decide what time are you going to be training. That's so important. to make life easier, I know you have a lot of these questions. I have created a program, free program for you to start using right now, which is going to take you through the journey of starting a fitness journey for weight loss and really building up sustainable regimen from A to Z, a full program which is very comprehensive, and you can download it free. I will attach the link into the description of this podcast episode, and it's gonna come with an app with a lot of tracking tools. So it's super helpful. And inside you will also see a bunch of workouts for different scenarios. They are with different intensities, for different schedules, and so on. So you can pick one of them and then start working on what really fits in your life. So once you have the training plan, then really you have to ask yourself, where are you going to be training? And that also kind of has to be answered before you pick the training plan, right? Because sometimes you need to train body weight, sometimes you need to train with dumbbells. You need to have these answers simultaneously, and then decide how long it's going to take to go to the gym, when the gym is open, when is it available, and all that. And then you start thinking then, okay, what time of the day can I be actually training? What is the best time? To clarify, it doesn't really matter what time of the training of the day you're going to be training when you're losing weight, because the consistency matters. It's important that you keep training your muscles consistently so you sustain them. If you're in a period of building muscle, you want them also to grow. But what really matters is just you keep training these muscles. They are the organs that will burn the most fat of your body, and you want to preserve them, because when you're on a caloric deficit and losing weight, you will tend to break down muscles, you will tend to break down fat and use it for energy. But science shows us that if we exercise regularly, we can hardly break down the muscle and lose it. There is a lot of myths around that, like actually you probably have the same experience when you have started eating less and doing a little bit more cardio and a little bit more, on a caloric deficit, and you've noticed that your muscles shrunk down, and that creates the illusion that you're losing a lot of your muscle. And there's that myth that if you're on a caloric deficit, you're gonna lose some of the muscle. But that's totally bullshit. It's totally false. Learn it from me, and if you don't trust me, there's lots of science around that. You can do your research. When you lose some of the muscle mass, you're not losing the actual protein structure, the myofibrils. You're losing the part of the sarcoplasm. The sarcoplasm is water and nutrients. It can take around 20% of the muscle mass. So what really happens is when you deplete yourself of calories, when you eat on a caloric deficit, part of that water and nutrients, they just get used for fuel, and you don't really you don't ingest enough food to fill this back up. So it kind of stays half empty, and visibly the muscles do look smaller, but they are not really smaller. They're just that sarcoplasm, that liquid inside and nutrients, they're just not there. But the actual myofibrils, they're there. The structure with actin and myosin that create the actual contractile tissue of the muscle, they're still there. And as long as you continue training, they will still be there. So this is super important to understand, so you don't freak out when you start seeing lower size of the muscles. And it's going to clarify why you just need to be consistent with the training so you don't lose the muscles. And also the training will help you burn much more calories over the 24-hour cycle. It's going to help you maintain a fast metabolic rate and not slow down much, which usually happens when you're on a caloric deficit. For example, if you stop training and you just go on a caloric deficit, you're not only going to lose some muscle mass, but your metabolism is going to drop down, and then you're going to have to eat even less calories to continue burning fat. And you're going to continue down that road, eating less, burning less, eating less, burning less. And it doesn't end soon. You can get to extremely low calories and still not be losing weight and wondering why. Well, that can be partly offset by training and also doing some steps. That's why we need to be training consistently. So ask yourself, what time of the day I can really hit the gym or training at home that I will not fail whatever. You need to take into consideration your business hours, your family commitments, taking kids to school, your wife wanting your attention. You need to take into consideration all your hobbies, everything that you do. Is there a slot of the day that really will work? For me personally, 10, 11 o'clock in the day is perfect because I don't have that many distractions. I run my own business, which is the coaching practice, and I can decide exactly when to take off. And to ensure that nobody takes the slots for my training, I have blocked them in my calendar. And that's what you also need to do. If the training falls within your business hours, you must block the business hours of your calendar. You should stop treating your training as a secondary priority. Training must become a first priority in your life if you want to create that sustainable lifestyle. And it should always be placed in your schedule and be consistent as much as possible, which I will explain why in a minute. And then when business comes, when engagement comes, you need to place them around the training. You shouldn't be putting meetings and business work where the training is supposed to fall, right? You need to prioritize it and act like training is priority number one. That will make a huge difference. So look at your lifestyle and be very realistic. Let's say you have 4 or 5 training days. Consider that in the weekends you might be having a different training schedule than in the weekdays. And it doesn't matter what time of the day you're going to fit it, just fit the training in. It's so important that you do it. You can even do it later in the night. Yes, it's going to affect your sleep, probably. Or maybe you will adapt and you will adjust and you will get used to it if it's not too late. But you just have to make sure that the training is done and it's consistent. So why does it need to be consistent? Well, that's a very important point that you also need to understand. Our bodies have something called circadian rhythm. That is like a system, or we call it a system. That's just the function of the body to get adapted to the schedule that we have, predict what's going to happen in specific hours in the day, and prepare you for that subconsciously without you even trying. That's when your habits start really helping you and playing in your favor. That's the thing that makes it feel weird when you're not training. That's the thing that makes all people who have been training for a long time feel really awful on off days when they want to be training. You hear a lot of athletes say that the off days are the worst days because they're boring and they're completely out of sync. Your body will adjust to the training schedule that you have, and it will make it much easier for you to maintain that. Then you can also structure the rest of the day around this circadian rhythm that you are creating with this training and make everything work flawlessly. But if you don't have that set time and you keep changing your workout hours, it is extremely difficult to be consistent and be disciplined, continue completing your workouts without missing a workout. You're creating a chaos for your body, for your mind, and every time you have to work out, it's going to be a battle. You rarely hit the time when you feel like motivated and now is a perfect time to go to work out. Every single time when you go to work out, it's going to be a battle in your mind, thinking, how can I get to work out? Oh, I need to do that, and really doing everything possible to motivate yourself. And in reality, you want to avoid that. You want it to become something that is kind of expected and you look forward to. You want to work out most of the time, and that can only happen if you have a consistent schedule that you follow. And what you will also see with that consistent schedule is that when you do a workout, there's a specific time that takes for your body to recover and you start feeling stronger and more energetic, which is the result of recovery after the training, right? That's the purpose of the training, to make you stronger and fitter. And that time is going to kind of sink in with your training schedule, with the workout split, and it's just going to allow you to start excelling also in your performance in the gym, and you will start developing that very positive mental relationship with working out. And this is exactly how I help people who have never trained or people who haven't trained in 20-30 years, overweight and completely out of shape and lazy and looking like a SpongeBob, to start training and develop a very positive relationship with training, start inspiring people around them, get fit, and become the leaders in their families, in their communities when it comes to fitness. we just create this very positive relationship with training, with eating healthy, and I do it with everything. And it really matters. So don't think that you can willpower your way through the training. This is not the way it's supposed to be done. This is a lifestyle journey that we're trying to create. We're not trying to create something that is very short term. So it's important to apply these rules, what I'm saying. Create a sustainable schedule. Pick the times of the day. It could be in the morning. It could be after work. It could be middle of the day. It doesn't really matter. Just make sure it's consistent as possible. And when you have to adjust and change the schedule, just change it. That's fine. Make adjustments. Be proactive. Okay. When you see that your training schedule stops working, you start missing the workouts, ask yourself the question, can I move the schedule? Can I put my training somewhere else? Be proactive, okay? And sometimes you will have to use, again, your discipline and your willpower to do the workouts, but that's okay as long as most of the time you are consistent and you're doing the workouts. And this is going to make a massive difference to the way you work out, to your relationship with training, and it's gonna make you a different person. It's gonna empower you a lot. So if you like this episode, and if you like this information that I'm sharing with you, subscribe to this podcast. Every week I will be releasing practical and tactical tips about getting in shape, losing weight, perfectly designed for executives and entrepreneurs. And I have a roadmap. So every single challenge that you have, that you will be facing, I will be discussing. I've created a very long list of topics that I need to talk about, starting from point A to point Z, and you will see that from the first episode how things progress. If you want to follow the progression and get fit with me, just follow the podcast and download the app if you haven't. It's going to massively help you because it's a lot of information in there as well. So subscribe, share with a friend, and if you think that I haven't shared anything, if I made a mistake, please comment below. That's how we grow. I want to get into debates. I want to get in a lot of these conversations. Or if you have questions, again, you can comment or reach out directly at my website, which I'll share the link in the description. And just follow us. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being my listener, and have a great day. We'll see you in the next episode.